Hello everyone. In this class, we will learn about the creation and viewing of triggers. In essence, a trigger is a special type of stored procedure that is closely associated with a data table. The difference between triggers and stored procedures lies in their usage. Stored procedures need to be explicitly called when used, while triggers are automatically invoked by MySQL when a predefined event occurs. When an insert, update, or delete event occurs on the data table associated with a trigger, the trigger that has been set up will be automatically executed. This helps maintain data integrity and performs other specific data processing tasks. Next, let's take a look at the advantages and disadvantages of triggers. Advantages. First, triggers allow for seamless cascading changes through related tables in the database. Second, they ensure data integrity by performing secure validation. Disadvantages. First, the use of triggers can impact the structure of the database and increase maintenance complexity. 2. The traceless operations of triggers may lead to data uncontrollability within the program, for example, PHP, Java. When creating a trigger, it is necessary to specify the target object, which is a data table. The table specified cannot be a temporary table or a view. The syntax is as shown on the screen. In the above syntax, there are two optional values for triggering timing, before and after. The former represents the state before the changes are made to the data table, while the latter represents the state after the changes are made. Although there are three optional values for triggering events: insert, update, and delete. The trigger order has two optional values: follows and precedes. Follows activates the trigger after the existing triggers, while precedes activates the trigger before the existing triggers. For each data table, only one trigger can be created for each trigger event. A data table can support a maximum of 6 triggers, depending on the timing of the triggers. Now let's demonstrate the creation of a trigger. First, select the current database. The command used is use. Select student info as the current database. Next, create a trigger. The requirement is that whenever data is added to the student table, a message stating that a record has been added should be displayed to the client. Now, let's take a look. We will use create trigger to create a trigger. Then, try underline, student insert is the name of the trigger. Before insert on student, specifies that the trigger will be activated before inserting into the student table. The trigger body enclosed by begin and end is very simple. It consists of a single statement that assigns the string record has been added to the str variable. Run the code. The execution is successful. The trigger has been created. To view the trigger statements, status, and other information for existing triggers in a specified database, there are two ways to achieve this. One way is to use the show triggers statement provided by MySQL. Another way is to directly query the triggers table in the information underline schema database using select statement. We will explain using the first method, and its syntax is as shown on the screen. Show triggers from vertical line. In database underline, name, like pattern vertical line. Where condition underline, expression. When a database is not specified with from or in, show triggers retrieves all triggers in the currently selected database. The where clause is used to specify conditions for viewing triggers. The usage of the like clause is quite specific. It is used to match the data table affected by the triggers, not the trigger names themselves. Now let's view the trigger. Using the example of the trigger we created earlier, named try_, student insert, we will use the statement show triggers for this purpose. Let's run it now. We can see that the trigger exists, and its name is try_, student insert. The event column specifies the event that activates the trigger, which in this case is the insert event. The table indicates the data table for which the trigger is defined. In this case, it is triggered when inserting into the student table. The statement represents the statement executed when the trigger is activated, which is assigning the string record has been added to the variable str. The timing specifies whether the trigger is activated before or after the trigger event. In addition to this information, we can also see the creation date and time, as well as the account information of the trigger creator. This concludes our demonstration of viewing triggers. Multiple choice questions. Select one answer choice. Fill in the blanks questions. Above, we have provided examples on how to create triggers and view triggers. We hope that everyone has gained a good understanding and mastery of these concepts. Thank you all.